Pat McGrew with McGrew Group. I'm here with my colleague, Ryan Maccabee from Pixel Consulting. And once again, we're bringing you a great Solimar case study. And this time we have the state of Washington. And with us today, we have Mike Zimmerman, who is the digital print and mail solutions architect. My gosh, Mike, what a mouthful. So I'm just going to call you Mike, if that's okay. And then we also have with us Damian Bernard, who is the print and mail program manager, or as I like to think of him, the wizard of print and mail. And I want to thank you both for taking time with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
As usual, what we want to dive into are some of the specifics of how Solimar has helped the state of Washington and how working with the solutions has helped you create a better experience for the people that you serve. So Ryan, jump in with the first question.
So, one thing that struck me is that you've been able to optimize a lot of the information, the files coming through with Solimar tools like ReadyPDF. But how are you connecting from the larger picture, the entire workflow from kind of end to end? Because it can get quite complex, can it?
Right, very much. We have SOLfusion as kind of the workflow engine for all of our re-engineering and optimization. So SOLfusion has been really great in that regard. It's kind of a Swiss Army knife. We can call scripts, call specific functions for Rubika or PDF re-engineering. We can also trigger emails, other things like that, sends out good alerts. So really SOLfusion is kind of the core for the workflow side of it. We also have Solimar's Print Director Enterprise, which we actually started with about 16 years ago. We've been using Solimar tools for 16 years now here. And that obviously handles all of our conversions and is the way we use the optimizations for ReadyPDF as well.
Wow. So we know, Mike, that the state of Washington has a lot of software. You have a lot of things that you're trying to control. How easy is it to integrate the Solimar suite pieces into this great universe that you're living in?
It works really well, especially with SOLfusion. Basically, I point it at a folder and tell it to watch. Look at this and give it a pattern of the name. And when you see this, do this. So it's really straightforward in that. I don't have to do complicated programming APIs where one program is calling another directly. I'm basically just using hot folders to pass between processes, pass between systems, and then within the steps within the system. So it works out really, really well.
And Damian, I had a question for you. From that kind of, as Mike was saying there, works with Rail, it's hot folder based. You don't have to do a lot of API callouts and so forth. But when you have a new product to onboard or a new application flow, is it how fast is it? Can you reuse a lot of the assets from the workflow perspective? How quickly can you basically get something stood up there?
That's something Michael's done an excellent job at. And the system works very well for that. So he has been able to repurpose many even more complicated solutions that we've had by reusing either coding within the software or in some cases, some of our customers are, very specific and maybe have some different business rules, but still the logic behind a lot of it, he's been able to reuse.
That's great.
Yeah, one thing I really have appreciated with working with the tools, it makes it very easy to have patterns and objects. So I have patterns that I apply to virtually all the workflows, and that allows me to take a workflow that's close, copy it, and then adapt it for the new customer. So I don't have to start from scratch. I can just kind of reuse those objects. If there's a technique I work out on one workflow, I'm like, oh, this could work well here. I just have to copy the object, bring it over, adapt it to the name, and we're good. So that reusability of those objects has been tremendously helpful. So really fast for onboarding.
And you're not a single data stream environment, right? I mean, you're dealing still with AFP, as well as you still have some PostScript and PDF as well. So you're juggling a lot.
A great deal. Yeah, we still have the traditional variable data print where we've got customers giving us old fixed length or structured data files from mainframes and other sources. So we've got that whole side of things. We get PDFs. We do have PostScript and AFP. So we're transforming both to and from AFP and PostScript and PDF, just depending on the job where it comes from and which devices we're going to send it to between our continuous and cut sheet fleet.
So Ryan, I guess we would be remiss if we didn't bring it back to that optimization story that we were telling in the actual case study, right?
That's true. So with that said, I mean, the volumes that you deal with, you're dealing with millions of records and pieces that basically go out on a monthly basis. What does that environment look like before ReadyPDF with the optimization, and what did that kind of look like after at a very high level, not getting into the weeds? What was basically the business case for that, and how did it help?
Right. So to start with, ReadyPDF, we've focused with our color device. When we got a new color inkjet, the big issue for us was to be able to, get the color corrections right. We have some jobs where our customers will send out forms that have to get filled out by recipients and then returned and scanned. So we needed to make sure that we could get the color just right so that those thousands or tens of thousands of forms, when they come back, the scanners can handle them and everything's great. So the ReadyPDF has helped a lot with getting that color correction to start with. And then the bonuses are getting the file sizes reduced for the PDF jobs. So the storage is going to be less demanding. Turn time can be faster because the conversions don't have as much to work with. So but from the color originally to just generally optimizing even black and white, it's kind of how we've been focused on it.
Perfect. And I know you've seen savings across the board with the time. I mean, in some cases as much as half, right? So
Yeah,
it's been
definitely.
significant in some parts.
And with the huge variety of content we get coming in, we have some customers who give us super streamlined, you have to touch. Others are pretty gnarly with literally 18,000 fonts in a 10,000 page PDF. So
That never happens.
Never. It's not anymore, thankfully. So yeah, that definitely was, I think that one we saw, gosh, almost 90% savings of file size after optimizing. So it's pretty huge.
So Damien, this has got to be making your life a little bit better.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, the solutions that Michael's able to build with these tools is allowing us to have even, a lot, obviously, different conversations with customers as well. So, and being able to talk to new customers and even old ones to onboard more work or change the work that we're doing today to add more integrity and things like that. So absolutely.
That's great. So Damien and Mike, I want to thank you so much for taking time with us. I think this is valuable to all the listeners. Knowing that people have actually done this work, working in very diverse environments, no one wants to be first. And I think everyone's happy that you were. So thank you so much for your time this morning. I'm Pat McGrew from McGrew Group, Ryan Maccabee from Pixel Consulting, and we'll see you on the next episode of Case Studies with Solimar.